tool I showed you guys from my phone, and these are now see with this I can plug this in here, and I can play my guitar from here. But right now I'm just gonna use it to let's go just get a song. Ain't No Sunshine, Bill Withers, right? So the chord, it gives you the chord chart. It gives you all the chords. But then if you want to change the key, so now you can you also use this as I use this on gigs. And if other people have an iPad, if everyone on the gig has an iPad, you can Bluetooth the chart to them and it'll show up, right?
Wow.
But then you can play it and it's pop. It's only going to 1 bar count. Now you can go into this and take out instruments you don't want in. So you take out the bass and you can play along with it, right? You can change the style of it.
That was a rock.
This is a pop rock. So now I'm swinging. Come on now, that's my style pack. You know what's in there already. What's going on? Alright, wait a minute. There's something going on. Okay, I'll get to that soon. But you can change the tempo. You can change. So there's a swing version.
And what's this software called?
It's called the iRealB. So it comes with,
It's like an app.
It's an app. You can get this app for about $10, and then you go and all the songs are free. And so far in this, I think I got close to 3,000 or 4,000 songs in this app alone. But also, so I use that to practice on the road and practice playing through the changes and all of that. But also what I have here in my iPad that I carry with me all the time, because you never know. Is that in my books? Bring this
empty
up.
shelf right now.
It's an empty shelf, but not anymore. So all of these are real books.
Wow.
So this is a full version of a real book. Okay? So you're never without. So out of this, I probably got 15 to 20,000 songs in this thing. Go back to the library. What do you want to say?
Well, I was looking at the clef. It was treble clef, but you read treble and
you can, because this has the melodies. So these have the melodies, and you can practice the melodies, as well as the chords. Or if you're doing a gig, you don't have to bring the whole real book. You got 15,000 songs in here
on an iPad.
On an iPad, right? So I use that, and then here's another tool I use that's very good. It's called Amplitude. This is basically a bass amp.
Okay.
And you can plug it either in speakers or headphones, and I can play through this and hear my bass.
Wow, iPad is a monster.
It's a beast. It's and I bought it for these reasons. I didn't buy it to be able to get online, which I appreciate now, but I bought it as a musician's tool. I have, it has GarageBand in here. If you're familiar with that.
It's like a little studio.
It's a studio. So I can record into this when it pulls up. And you pick what you want.
So you can just, if a song come to you on the road, in the bus or on the plane or something.
Right. I sit up all night. So you can, and then if you want to go back, you want to put on drums.
Right.
And you can pick what drum sets you want. You go over, you'll like this, Lamont. This is
really now.
vibrato, baby.
Hold on.
Oh, wait. Okay, wait. Here you go. Yeah.
Upright, huh?
So you can do, you can do whatever with this thing. So that's another tool.
Well, that's a good tool for a road-based sideman like yourself, right?
Right. It's a great tool to have, because for me, every day, no matter what, I force myself 3 hours a day of practice.
Now, did y'all hear that? This
And
professional basis says he still, after all of these years of gigging, already got the job. The job is on the way. He still practice.
Well, you gotta, there's another job. There's always another job. So you gotta be prepared. You can't. One of the things I tell cats, even when you have a tour going, if you're out on tour, while I'm on tour, at the beginning of the tour, I'm booking my next tour. I know when this is going to end. So I don't want to wait, get off the road and start scrambling for work. You have to book as you're going. That's one of the biggest things that cats do. They wait till the tour is over and then they go, now what am I going to do? No. When that date ends, boom. So I book. So that's why I'm constantly back to back to back to back. Another thing you do is, and what I suggest to guys is maximize your practice time, because a lot of guys don't.
And what do you mean by maximize?
Okay.
Don't spend the whole day doing scales or what?
No, I think you should, but if you're gonna there's 7 days in a week. So your first day, Monday, for me, Monday is a reading day. So my minimum practice time is 3 hours. That means I might practice, if I don't have anything to do Monday, I might practice 8 hours.
Right.
I take a break, but I'll practice, 8 hours. And I'll practice reading for 8 hours on Monday. Tuesday is my finger day. That's scales and modes. And scales, modes, and jumping,
switching positions?
Positions, yeah. So that day, so I'm maximizing that time. I'm not spending 10 minutes on scales and then 2 minutes slapping and then 3 minutes on something else. You maximize that time. That way when you come back to that, you've got it. And I use every fourth day as a refresher for what I just learned.
Combined all of it?
All of them. But so then I've got a thumb day, and I have a day where I'm playing through the changes, solo day, and then I combine, and that's maximizing your practice time. You're going to get the most out of what you do if you do it that way, as opposed to all over the place.
Okay, so far, and I'm listening. One of my tools is give me an iPad or something, another one of my tools is rehearsing, and I'm betting your behavior and the way you carry yourself is probably another good tool, huh?
That's the biggest thing. I mean, everybody can play, and that's the thing. I don't care who you are, everybody can play. A lot of times I get hired from my personality. Being a nice guy, being professional when you show up on a job, you're not a distraction. You're on time. Like I come ahead of time. I set up my instrument, I'm tuned, and I'm ready. When they call for the downbeat, they don't have to look for me. I've already taken care of. If I need to go to the bathroom, you don't wait till 30 seconds for the downbeat to go to the bathroom. You go, do your thing. When it's time, the downbeat is at 8. At 10 minutes to 8, they're not looking for me. I'm in my spot. I'm tuned and I'm ready. Those things are very, very important, and they play a big role in how you're perceived. I cannot emphasize enough how much and how many times I've heard of cats losing gigs, and they don't even know why they lost the gig. They don't even know why they didn't get the call. But those things are carefully watched by band leaders and artists. And you know, do what you do away. You don't take your personal thing to the bandstand. It's never a good thing. There are too many guys out waiting in line, you know, and like I said, everybody can play, but it's a combination of everything that gets you hired and gets you calls. You know, I don't think that there's one person that I've ever worked for or worked with that can ever say anything that I wasn't a professional and that I came on the stage, bandstand, not prepared. The other thing is you have to be prepared for anything. There's a show I did in Belgium. It was supposed to be, I think, 2 weeks with this woman named Natalia. And I was going over as a musical director for the Pointer Sisters. They weren't taking the rest of the band, they were just taking me. And so when I got there, you know, Ricky Lawson was the only other American that they took over. So Rick and I, you know, we've been knowing each other since since we were probably 17. Days back here in Detroit. Ricky Lawson's a great drummer, and you know, if you don't know him, familiarize yourself. He's got a way longer list of folks than I do. But as we go to do the show, we're supposed to have 2 rehearsals, and then it's show. So everything's charted, and I'm playing for the Pointer Sisters and this Belgian artist named Natalia. And after the first rehearsal, Natalia's manager came up to me and said, "You're the guy. Can you come sit down and have lunch?" It was lunch, first break. So they said, "It's just Natalia. We want you to run around the stage and do whatever you got to do. Just be Mick Jagger, be her Mick Jagger, because she hasn't had anyone else." And I was like, "What?" Okay, so what that told me was this: they gave me a wireless. We got one more rehearsal and a half, and I have to memorize 16 songs in a rehearsal and a half. Everybody else is reading music, but because I've got to run around now, I won't have that opportunity. So the gig, it was, you know, I didn't know about this part when I came over, but now I'm on the spot. So after the rehearsal was over, from the time I went back to the hotel room to the time of the next rehearsal, I never slept. I memorized every one of her songs. And from the first day of this gig that was supposed to last 2 weeks, which wound up lasting, I think, 6 weeks, I ran around the stage. You can look for the Pointer Sisters Meet Natalia on YouTube. It's all documented. It's crazy. But be prepared.
Be prepared for anything.
Because a gig may never be what you think it is. The other thing is, you know, what I tell cats, play everything. If you don't know it, learn it. Every style. You know, Latin, jazz,
they got their own.
They got their own feel.
And you can tell if somebody's not doing it right.
Learn what the clave is, and learn every style, because what that does is, let's say what you do is play pop and R&B. You already know how to play pop and R&B, so you can get a gig doing that. But what if there's no pop and R&B gig available right now? Then you got to play something else to be able to pay your rent. Play everything. Go out and learn jazz. Go out and learn how to play jazz. Go out and learn how to play rock. Go out and learn how to play Latin. Go out and learn how to play a polka. Go out and learn how to play it all, country and western. You know, I have a favorite music, but I'm a musician. I'm a working musician. My favorite music might not be what my gig is. That's okay. If the check clears, who cares? Because that's the most important thing. If you can pay your bills, who cares what your favorite music is? Nobody cares about that but me. You know? So don't be so selfish with your talent. Be able to share it. That's another thing I tell guys. And the other one is this, and this is real important. If you take a gig and you know what the particulars of the gig is, don't get mad. If you know, this gig's only paying $20, that's $20 more than you had before. There's always something, take something musical from it. You can always learn from it.
I agree.
You know, when I'm not on the road playing the so-called big gigs, I hear guys who don't like playing wedding bands. Well, when I've been in LA, I've played so many weddings, and you'd be surprised at who you run into on the bandstand. I mean, caps, sitting on the bandstand with you playing a wedding, because that's $400 or $500 that you didn't have.
Right.
In a day. So
when you at the crib, you don't have any tours and stuff. You still play locally.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, first of all, if you don't do that, then you're going to get stagnant. You know, you got to go out and play. Secondly, the connections that you can make playing these local gigs around Detroit, around LA, wherever you live, will lead you into something else, especially if you do a good job. You know, you like I said, you'd be surprised at who's in the wedding band. You don't look down on anything that's going to pay you money. It's not a bad thing.
And to be honestly, you're not really doing it for the money, right?
No, you're doing it for the love of music.
Right.
You're doing it for, but the money allows you to stay. If any money that I make allows me to pay my rent, or my mortgage, or my car, and allows me to stay in a spot to make more, or to make more music. You know what I mean? Okay. And the love of music is why we all get in it. Right.
You know? Okay. So now, on this second interview here, these are the hard questions, man. This is the meat and potatoes.
This is the Mike Wallace questions.
This is the meat and potato questions that everybody want to know. Okay. How you get these gigs, man? I mean, how do you get to play with all of those people some of the people that are named? How do you get the gigs? I know we kind of halfway discussed it, but it's like, do they call you? Does Gladys Knight say, yo, JV, or does Chaka Khan call you and say, yo, JV, who you playing with? You like, I can't do this gig? Or how do you get the gigs?
Everybody calls me. There's no manager. There's never been a manager for me. I was lucky, you know. I keep saying this. I've been blessed that through everyone that I've ever contacted didn't mind helping, or even other artists, they share, so that for whatever reason they enjoyed what I did and enjoyed the hang. So I just get a call. I would get a call from this. I remember Steve Perry from Journey. I was doing a Was Not Was rehearsal in LA, and we were rehearsing for a week, and I saw this guy. He would come and sit right in front of me every day, every rehearsal, and I didn't know who he was. And I was like, who is this? And he would just stare at me every day. So, I'm from Detroit. My hair on the back of my neck is starting to stand up, because after the third day, I'm like, well, wait a minute, this ain't cool. So about the fourth day, he comes up and introduces himself, and I was a huge Journey fan, and he says, I'm putting together a band, and I want you to be my bass player. I don't know how that happened. He just showed up, and so I just, for whatever reason, I just started getting calls, and my name got around as being a good player who was professional, and so people just started. That's how the gigs came up. I don't know. I don't have a real answer for that. It just started happening.
Oh man, and I really was hoping hoping it was like a magic number that it's a magic go-to. If you need a bass, y'all got y'all own secret website. I'm like, because guys like you, Al Turner, Lamont, and a few others, I'm like, they gotta have a secret website that people call it, and I need to join this website. So I was hoping you was gonna give me the password.
Well, see, all the answer I just gave you was crap. If I give you the secret password, they're gonna kick me out and change the password on me, so I can't get. No.
Okay. All right. Well. Okay. How about this? Here's something that a lot of bass players want to know. That's trying to get in the same game, and like you've been doing this long enough, so you went through the mistakes. Like, for example, travel. How do you travel when you're traveling with an airplane? Do you take your bass guitar? I know the answers to some of these questions, so I'm just asking it for the novice. I mean, do you take your bass guitar on the plane? Do you take an amp with you on the plane?
Well, no, I don't take the amp on the plane.
What tools do? Speaking of tools early, what do you take with you?
Okay, for me, you guys saw me. I got my gig bag.
Right.
With my bass in.
Yeah, we see that right over there.
Yeah.
It's a 6-string Ken Smith in there.
Chef Granny model, and I take tools in case I have a little tool pack in the pouch in case I need to change strings or adjust the strings or adjust the nut, and extra sets of strings.
And why would you need to adjust the nut? Weather?
Sometimes when you fly from one climate to the other, humidity, as we know, will affect certain necks. Cold will affect
altitude.
It a different way. Altitude. Well, you always lower the strings when you fly. You should always lower your strings when you fly, so that the altitude affects your neck by bowing it and making it more tension. So you don't lower your strings and lower the tension on your strings so that your neck won't get strapped.
In other words, when you say lower, you mean untune it to a looserness, flatter.
To it's just flapping against the neck, because you don't want your neck to get maybe snapped or whatever. So I carry my bass when I'm flying around the States. I almost exclusively put it in the overhead. In most flights it'll fit in the overhead. There are a lot of flight attendants who will allow you to put it in a closet. Sometimes you'll meet somebody who's having a bad day, and they will gate check it for you, and that means they will carry it. Once we land, they'll bring it right back up to me at the top of the gate. And I chose this gig bag, this iGig bag, for a reason. It has a metal strip around it, the outside, so it will not collapse onto your bass. So it protects your instrument. So I
even if you have to check it.
Even if you have to check it, it will protect it. And I also have some Reunion Blues bags, gig bags, and they're really great leather bags. And I have a double one in case I have to take 2 instruments, and I can check that like luggage. And it's so padded, so it looks like an acoustic guitar is in there. And it's that wide, and that it keeps your instrument safe. If I'm flying internationally, they're very strict carry-on rules. So I have a hard case that I had made, and I had my case made. They normally make them where they cut the foam and form fit it to the instrument. I didn't want that. Because when what that does is when you get to wherever you're going, you have to carry this big anvil case around. So I had them just foam, 1 inch foam on the outside, and make the case large enough to where I can stick my gig bag in it.
Right.
So when I get to the hotel, that case stays in the room, and I have my gig bag that I can carry out, so the guitar never leaves the gig bag. It's totally protected. So those are the tools that I take on the road with me as far as my guitar. And different guitars for different reasons. I think I have about 45 or 50 basses and an upright. And I use different basses for different things. Some people only like the Fender, just a flat old school Fender sound of a precision or a jazz. So I use that on certain gigs. I have an HMR guitar, which is straight from here.
Another Detroit manufacturer's bass.
He's a great guy, and too bad that he can't keep doing what he's doing because of illness, respiratory illness. But he was making some great basses. I love your design. The one you designed was just amazing. And he built me a souped up 5, based off a 1974 Jazz 5. And it's a beautiful bass, and I use it a lot. I use my Ken Smith a lot. I use it with Bruce Hornsby because when I came in the band, I came in and replaced Jimmy Haslett. And when I first got in Bruce's band, there was no guitar player, and he was really deep into his jazz and fusion phase. So there are lots of bass melodies and bass solos, and so I had to play 6-string. So that's why I started using the Ken Smith. I've got PV Cirrus. I've got all kind of stuff sitting at the house, and I have a custom-made 6 fretless that a cabinet maker from Tucson, Arizona built for me out of a 100-year-old piece of bird's eye maple. He used to build Brian Bromberg's basses, and this thing is just a beautiful bass. I had him put LEDs on the top of the neck, so I can turn them on and turn them off. So dark places, you know, I still got fret markers I can look down at. So it's really a beautiful instrument. I love it. And you have to show, you know, with gigs with the right gear. I'm endorsing Gallagher Kruger amps right now, but I have Kruger, I've got Harkey, I've got Mark bass, I've got Eden, I've got SWRs, I've got PVs, I've got acoustics.
Strings?
Strings I'm using right now, I'm doing Diodario, and they're really great strings. I love them, I love the feel of them. Really great strings.
So you got the amp endorsement duty. You know what, man? I don't want to keep you because I can ask you questions. So when you get to this, one of the things we talked about is like you bring your bass guitar with you. That's usually the only part of the instrument you take with you. When we're flying.
On a tour this summer with Bruce, I'll have all my gear, my amps and
they truck it around.
They truck it around, and we have guys who take care of the gear and everything.
You got like a stage tech
stage techs,
bass tech,
everything. Yeah, bass tech. I usually carry my basses with me. I'm very particular about that.
Right.
I change my own strings. I know how I like my setup. And so I'm very.
So you don't need no bass tech to travel around the U.S. with you. Because I know how to change strings.
I'm very hands-on with my instrument. I'm very particular about that instrument. You know, the amp, okay, but the bass, that's personal to me. And so I'm one of those guys who, you know, I don't think you should buy an instrument and let it become a piece of art and there's no marks on it. My instruments look like they've been used because they have been. They've been played, and that's what they're meant to be. But at the same time, I just don't let anybody handle them. You know, if I hand my bass to somebody, as somebody I really trust, and so I'm good with doing my thing. Yeah.
Okay, so you take care of your own stuff.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this man is looking at the clock, because guess what?
It's 2:15.
He's got a gig, in case you missed the other interview. Now, you go check that other interview we did with him on, that was just your generic, much love to another Detroit bass player. This is more in depth with the technical side of playing the bass. So you can check that out on
bassplayer.com. DetroitBassPlayer.com.
Yeah, www.DetroitBassPlayer.com.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to let this man go do his show with the Fifth Dimension. They're doing 2 shows today. I'm I'm gonna try to show a little bit of footage, so y'all hang in there. And see you later.
All right. Take care.